guys. My name is Nikki Sherrick. We're out of Lonsdale, Minnesota. Yep, we are RaeZANN Hill, goats and goods. So RaeZANN Hill comes from our family of 5. It's my daughter Raina. We got Zoe, Alan, Nikki, and Nicholas. So it's our whole entire family combined together. My husband and I grew up in the dairy industry with our parents doing milk cows and things like that, hobby farms and stuff. So after Alan and I got married, we were kind of interested in how we could carry on the farming tradition, since it's few and far between, but it means the world to us. So being on a small farm of about 10 acres, we kind of narrowed down our options. And one day my husband said, "What about goats?" And I said, "Well, they're cute." And he laughed. He goes, "Of course you would say that." So that's kind of our journey, is we went and got about 20 goats at our first time and came home and said, "Now what do we do?" So we looked into a bunch of different things. We have mainly, we had boar goats, which are a meat variety. We have done that. We have a USDA butcher. We support locally the Mankatoon's grocery store of Waconia, Lonsdale, and Montgomery, and also the farmhouse market in New Prague, very much the farm to table section kind of thing. We've done some goat soaps and things like that. When COVID hit, that kind of slowed down. So we had lots of people asking us, "What about goat cheese? What about goat cheese?" I was like, "Well, I'm not quite sure. That's probably going to take a lot of work, right? So let's do it." So that's what we did, is we looked into it. We found a lovely lady that was retiring from Wisconsin, but most of her equipment, which was called a micro dairy. And it was pretty much what me and my husband were used to, just a much smaller variety. Now we have turned into lots of Nubian and La Mancha milking mamas. We have about 15 right now. We are cranking out the cheese. We do feta, chev, and we do this different one called fromage blanc, which is kind of like a cheesecake consistency rolled in spices. Phenomenal. It's really, really good. We're also getting into the hard cheeses. We have people that have asked us all sorts of questions. Can you make pepper jack, goat cheese? Can you make Colby? All sorts of stuff. So we have been just, what the heck, why not? So we have been searching into that and starting that as well, just because for people too, it's a longer shelf life. Your fresh cheeses, could be about 2 weeks, and sometimes that's not long enough for people. So that's kind of our story. This is my full-time job now, taking care of all the babies and the farming and everything. So I'm super excited to be following a different career path. When I was a little bit younger, we did dental assisting, and my husband is a welder. So we've all worked off the farm to kind of get our life going. We put up a 25 by 40 building outside here. I can show you guys. And then kind of walk around, we'll kind of see out here. So this is RaeZANN Hill. Let's see if we can turn this around a little bit. So this is our new facility that we have put up. It begins with an office part. Everybody has paperwork and all that good stuff. We walk into our milk house. It's just a nice, efficient, enough area for everything. We have our delicious goat milk here from milking this morning and everything. We have our cheese room that I'll show you. Entails all of our vat pasteurizers, our recording systems, everything. We have 2 walk-in coolers, all of our molds and stuff. So that's where we hairnet up and do all of our clean work. All of our dirty work is in here. This is our mini parlor that we put up and bought. So the goats come in, jump up, they get milk twice a day, morning and night. And let's go see the lovely ladies. They are gonna all be out here. And it gets loud sometimes. They're very vocal. They do not like this snow right now. So here we are. This is Milkshake, one of our big mamas. We got lots of them hiding out in the barn today. Yeah, they're nosy. want to come out and see. We are just kind of wrapping up our kidding season. So lots of new baby goats. Here. So this is the inside of our barn. So we're lots of little ones. Yes. These are the Nubians with the big, long, floppy ears. Babies and mamas. This is one of our boar mamas that we still have, the meat variety. We have some babies. Next time you win is when you're sure you're under. These little guys without the ears, or very little ears, are the Manchas. They're a different looking little breed. Pretty funny to most people. They're super, super sweet. Lots of little ones here in this pen that were just born not even a week ago. So we got lots of heat lamps and bedding and all sorts of stuff for them because they do not like to be cold right away when they're born. So I'll turn it back around. So yeah, that is our lovely farm and everything that we are. I guess our biggest concern is, one, we do a lot of things ourselves with goats. Not very many people have or know about them, including veterinary services. We have been partnering with the U of M. They have come out the last, I want to say, like 2 years now, and the students come and they learn about goats and they see goats and they learn how to do tests on them as far as like if they have worms, you know, what does a healthy goat look like? Some people are just, you know, from the city and have never seen them in person. So that's been a really fun thing for us, is to help people learn as well. We're gonna go back in. I'll be attacked for peanuts if I don't stand out there and give them treats. They're spoiled. And our biggest thing is getting into more of the farm to table businesses and things like that. People who are into the healthier version of food. Like you said, goat cheeses, not very many people have had actually even delicious tasting goat cheese. There's a lot out there, and we've tried a lot from the stores. You know, when you get into the mass production of cheeses and things like that, we have found that you lose a lot in taste, the quality. That's why we're definitely more on the artisan side of the small batch of cheeses and things. And the reason why we have the goats we do, we did a lot of research and test tastings, and we believe the taste and everything just shines through, and people are very amazed that, are you sure this is just goat's milk? You know, this is not something mixed. Even with the meat, that the meat is that healthy. It's one of the healthiest red meats there are. You didn't mix this with beef or pork. No, this is, goat has been around in many different countries for many different reasons. And we're trying to, that we found it as well, bring that to people so that they realize, don't just walk by it. It may be something different, but you're going to be amazed, and you're going to want it on your table next, and you're going to want to share it with your friends. The added health benefits, the vitamins, the minerals, compared to dairy cows, which I'm not knocking. I grew up that way. I love them to death. So not that. It's just amazing. There was something else out there that we grew up as farmers and really had no idea about. So expanding our horizons as well, and to give the goat industry some love. So I think it's amazing that way too. So just getting our product out there to people, friends and family. Things as far as financially, it's always hard starting out. Like I said, we just kind of decided to do this, and that was it. And we know we'll get there. Any type of help, people that have information, that just want to come stop by and see us, we love that. You wouldn't believe the goat world is very tight knit. You find people all sorts of places that will just comment, or can we come see your goats, or what do you do? And we keep in touch with them, you know, people we've sold goats to, and it's really special. That part I love so much, and for the technology. So any type of help is appreciated. Test tastings, what kind of cheeses, ideas. We are really open to everything. So we appreciate being on this and everything. So and kind of helping us get our name out there.
No, that's great, and really a nice tour and really nice operation you've put together.
Thank you.
And so that's, congratulations on that. And
Thank
that,
you.
to me, we'll have, a lot of people have some questions and things, because, you know, I think it's a great, interesting business. And I've personally looked at the goat meat industry, because AURI, which is a research really institute here, studied the goat meat market. So first and foremost, some of the cultural challenges, and this will be kind of a question to set it up, and people can jump on in. How have you looked at your branding side? I know how you got your name, but then when you are your pitch to sell, as you've kind of mentioned, the health benefits and the different types of cheeses, you know, what do you see making the first steps into some of your customer markets? What has been the products that at least have gotten you in the door?
Some of the products that have gotten us in the door right before cheeses was our goat milk lotions. That it might sound like a weird thing, but we've had a lot of people, when we have started some farmers markets just in the area and stuff like that, have said, I've heard this is really good. What do you think? And, you know, for eczema, psoriasis, things like that. And I said, actually, it has. Being a redhead myself and having fair skin, I know what that's like. And that came with lots of questions. And then that led in the vitamins, and the skin led into the internal. Well, what does it taste like? You know, do you have cheese? Do you eat it? You know, what does it look like? And at the time, we had not put up the facility, and we had said we were getting into it, and finally put it up. And now we're getting out there. And like you said, more or less the taste for people is our first step. They want to see it. They want to smell it. You know, they're very curious, because some people have had a very bad road trying different things, maybe even in different countries, and that's going to taste totally different. So being here in America, more the domesticated, you know, it's what they eat, everything like that makes a big difference in your final product. And a lot of people are really into the, you know, the raw milks and the raw cheeses. They want the health benefits. They don't want everything so processed anymore. So you see this kind of turn into like the farm to table. And so that's where we kind of got a big push just from people around us saying, you need to do this, like we need you, kind of thing. And we were like, of course, scared, because you can hear that all you want, but to take the financial leap to be like, well, let's see if we trust this was big. And I mean, we've had tons of family and friends, and like you said, local businesses coming out of nowhere. Hey, you know, we've had some breweries and wineries now that are like, we would love this. This is an amazing thing. We're so happy you do this. So that's been kind of our turn.
Well, that's great. That's one of the questions. Yeah. And Sarah has one off a Facebook Live question. Sarah?
Yes, Deb on Facebook was wondering if all your products are organic.
Okay, so there's, we would have to say legally no, because to be organic, you have to go through like a licensing process. We do not use any, oh man, you know, all the stuff that people can say, like injections and shots and medicine and things like that. They only get what they need. They get vitamins and minerals and stuff. But to be organic, your land and your feed and everything has to be a certain percent, which a little bit for us is kind of a tough thing, because I feel if it should be organic, I mean, it should be bare minimum. There shouldn't be this thing. So for us, we feel it is. I mean, we do everything the right way. There's nothing we give to them that I would not want to eat or be scared of. But legally, our farm is not organic in that terminology.
Yeah, and that's a challenge for a lot of egg providers, because it is detailed. Angie, Francis has a question for you. Angie, do you want to?
Have you, or do you have your logo on decorated apparel for your business as a way to advertise your brand?
Yes, we have started doing that. Yep. Yep. And here we have, let's see, I can turn it around. So here is our kind of our logo with our goat. She's got a little bandana and stuff. Our little saying is, we goat this with everything and stuff. So she's kind of our new up and coming logo that we put on everything. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Paul Asdoba, you have a question in regards to wineries and breweries?
Yeah, just I think you kind of hit it already. You know, that's a great spot to get some tasting and get it out to the public that is out and about. But great logo too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the bandana on the logo, I think you've done some good work on that. I think that's branding is one of the most difficult things, and specifically when you're branding a product that is new to some people, right?
Right.
So that's, I think, you know, you're on your way there, and so that's fantastic.
Thank you.
What has been, from the standpoint of looking at pairing of your foods, and I think that was a good question that Paul had in there about pairings. So have you had, do you make specific beers or wines? Have you guys thought of doing taste testing where you can market your product that specifically towards a grape, or specifically works with a certain type of microbrew locally?
No, I guess we haven't really gone that direction. We just got invited by Angry Inch Brewing for an April Fool's Day. We are going to do a pairing. I had contacted them about a month ago, and they got back to me and said that they're putting up a menu with, say, their honey beers, and we're going to do like honey chev together, you know, a sweet, a savory, and herbed one. So I'm really excited about that. A few other breweries said they should be in touch hopefully soon. So that will be really exciting, because I'd like to talk to the brewers themselves about, like you said, the different flavors, you know, what kind of ideas, maybe there's new cheeses I can come up with, new flavors and things like that that people would like. So that will kind of be April 1st will kind of be our first test run at that. And we should hopefully learn quite a bit of what people say, because they need to have reservations to be there. So we will have about a table of 6. They're going to have a couple different flights of their beer with our cheeses, and then we can kind of talk to the people and see what they think. So I'm excited about that. So I give them credit for trying us.
Well, and I'd be curious for the crowd here. I've had goat meat and I've had goat cheese, so I've had it cooked certain ways. How would
Nice.
how are you still doing meat, as well as you're still doing the meat and the dairy? Is that correct?
Yep, the meat has just slowed down, definitely. When COVID hit and the butcher shops, kind of everything kind of, you know, had that standstill everywhere. But we still do. We have Odenthal's out of Heidelberg. That's our USDA butcher. And they're amazing, and they do all sorts of cuts. We can do anything, you know, your hamburger, your chops, your roast. So it'd just be like taking a cow or a pig and having your special cuts. Just might be a little bit smaller steaks, but it is phenomenal. It's very well comparable to beef or pork together. It has a little bit of a sweeter taste to it. And of course, there's not very much fat. So if you are grilling or things like that, you definitely want to do a little bit of indirect heat, because you could burn them fast. Some people will add, you know, fillers or things to them, but when we take it there and we do, it is just 100% goat. So that's the only thing, is if you want to add some other type of oils or things, depending on how you're cooking it, especially the grill, that was the only warning that we had. But otherwise, we always season it. We've done some test tastings down at Mankatoon's and just made like mini sliders, and all we seasoned it with was their all-purpose seasoning. And people were like, no, really? It is fantastic. You can switch it out for any type of hamburger or meals or roast or anything, and season it any way you want, which is the best taste, comparable to, let's say, I know the lamb industry, for some people, as myself, it can have a very strong taste. Deer, to me, has a very strong taste that you try to cover up or add to it. This does not. So therefore you can switch it out for anything and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and I think you have boar and people to say, you know, like Angus beef, right? People
Right.
think of Angus, you have the Angus beef of goats, right?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Fair to
Yep.
say. But a couple other, and there's some more comments in there for you. One is, you know, talking about specialty meats in other stores. We also have a question about the Trio Wine Cafe. I mean, Paul, I don't know if you want to say that directly, but it's talking about, maybe Paul, if you could comment on that. I think that's a great comment in there.
Yeah. Well, the Ward House Brewery, John, I know him really well. In fact, he's got a basil beer going on tap, which happens to be my beer. He's going to brew for us. But it would be good with cheeses, obviously. And then Jeremy at the Trio Wine Cafe, they have a wine club and just a kind of a urban style winery right downtown Waseca. It's all independent wines they do. They don't make their own, but be a good connection on both of those.
Nice, wonderful, thank you.
Gary has a question too on in the Minnesota. Gary, you want to ask your question on the Dairy Association?
Yeah, I just was curious as far as looking for resources, if you had connected with the Minnesota Dairy Goat Association. And I think there's another one of another niche. Have they been helpful at all?
Just kind of through the U of M, through that is about the only thing that we've gone through. We have been watching for, webinars and things like that, which they do, and we always include ourselves in any type of thing like that. But personally, no, it's just mainly us and searching and doing our stuff out there. So
Yeah, so I would encourage it.
Okay.
I'm not now knowledgeable specifically on what they can do, but I would, just Google them and check them out, because plugging into that network, you could leverage the lessons learned from the members in there, I'm sure.
definitely.
And the other on your distribution chain, I don't know if you or your husband, or you kind of shared as far as making these contacts, or if it's just kind of, word of mouth, and somebody just like we said today. And I know Paul mentioning Trio, I think would be an excellent, they'd be very open, I believe. And if you need any help of getting introduced, I'd be glad to send an email and try to connect with them. But building your distribution chain, one, and two, your capacity.
Yeah.
How is your capacity to produce this if things start rolling? Is that a real issue or concern at this point?
No, not really. We definitely have more than enough at the moment, for sure, where we have to turn it into different products like soap and stuff like that. So we are ready for anything. We've talked about future expansion, bigger machines, all the stuff that kind of takes into place. And it would be, hopefully if you ever get to that point where that would be the next big step is, okay, now we got to do this. We want to go big or go home while we're here. So, and we're kind of one of the first in the area. So we want to keep it rolling, keep it positive. We want to make sure we can do everything we can to have people love us and support us, because it means the world to us. So.
No, and I think we only have 3 or 4 minutes left here, everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll get down to the wire a little bit. My last question, I guess, would be to you is the challenge. It seems like it's branding, getting out there, getting people to try your product. And I know, and I'll connect to you personally. I know some people on the meat side that are growing out the meat and looking at developing that market. So there could be interesting contacts there. Is there any one last challenge or anything else that we could get some feedback from the team at this time that you see? I think you laid everything out pretty well. I mean, you got.
Yeah.
I think it's great to see. I was very great to look at your Facebook. I'm sure you'll get more branding and website stuff up. It just takes time, but
Yep.
I think I just so you know, I'm on the board of governors of a ag organization called Green Seam, and I think I saw Joe Bailey. She's also on that board. She's in here on mute there, but so there's agricultural industries that we're there to support and grow businesses. So I'll reach out to you too, where you can connect, and there'll be some interesting conversations for you. Anybody
thank you.
have any last questions? Anyone in the whole group here?
Do you have a website or a web store we can purchase your products from?
Right now, we just have on Facebook. It's something that we've been working on, also getting on Etsy and things like that we've been working on. So it's just, learning through some friends, getting some help to get started with that and the time for it. So we've kind of got our list and kind of did our marketing for what people like. So hopefully that should be coming soon. So thank you.
Hey, what are on Facebook? I try to find you on Facebook. What are you under?
It should be RaeZANN Hill Goats and Goods. Yep.
Okay, I'm not coming up with it. I'll try again. Thanks.
Yeah, I know with Facebook, it was complicated, like RaeZANN the Hill Goats and Goods has to be like one word. And
okay, thank you.
yes,
Yeah,
you're welcome.
I think that's a lot of good marketing people in this group, and I think that's and when I was looking up information too, same thing. So I saw the Facebook, but that's always it's when you're trying to build a business, you're you got a new building there, you've got inventory. It's always tough. So one thing is to look out for resources. It can be
Yes.
everything from SBDC or other places to give you some help on your marketing and help on
Yes.
building out that, because you have a
Yep.
really good product. I really like your brand, and
Thank you.
it's in this region. I mean, AURI did a study on it, and it's a $30 million market, the goat meat halal market. It's a large market. So I
Yeah.
think you'll get some marketing help. You can really get the word out on the nice operation you have there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sarah has something else. Sarah, what else do you have there?
Yes, I will say, I was able to find the goat page. I believe Leah put it in the links. The one that I found shows that it has you adding as a friend. So it's on there as a person, not a business.
Okay.
So if you're on as like a business, anybody anywhere can hit like and follow it and see all your updates versus adding as a friend. So that may be a suggestion too.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And I'd recommend if you aren't on LinkedIn or other places, because from the corporate supply chain side, for me
Yeah.
personally, I like a LinkedIn page if you do or don't have one yet.
Okay.
So people can link into you as kind of a business to business too.
Nice. Thank you. Yep.
Well, I think that was, I mean, I think really excited for you and your family. I like names that put the kids' names in there. One of my businesses I've done something with an acronym for the family. So I think that says a lot about what you're trying to build and what you are building. So that's
Thank
really neat to see family businesses.
Yeah.
To the like I say, connected to the dirt, if you will, on the farming side. You're tech connected
Yeah.
to the earth. And it looks like you're building it out the right way, no doubt. So
Thank you.
congratulations for that.
Thank you, guys.
Reach out to other individuals and organizations regionally that could help you really build out your business. So
Perfect.
anyways, I think, are we doing any breakout groups or any more questions? I'm sorry, this is what are the next steps here, anyone?
Yes. So our last question for you actually is, what can we as a community do for you? I know you've mentioned a couple things, but if you had to pick one of the biggest ones, what would you say?
Just word of mouth support. I mean, that's big. We got, like you said, people that know us in the community. So just helping spread the word. If people have questions or want to come see us, definitely just reach out. I mean, I think that connection, just being here and seeing and meeting us and seeing the goats kind of just does something to you. It's just kind of an amazing, like, wow, it's real. You can see it. You can see how hard we're working. It's not just some corporate business. We're putting our absolute everything into it. And we have friends and family here helping us put everything into it. So any type of love and support for our business and anything. And if that's trying some cheeses, if that's, petting the goats, like we love any type of love like that. So I just appreciate that. It just means the world to us. So.
And I think Mike Kahn, did you unmute yourself? Did you have a comment, I assume?
No, I just wanted to say congratulations, and I know that
Thank you.
is just I'm a former North Iowa, Southern Minnesota. In fact, my family used to farm in Pine Island, north of Rochester, many years ago.
Yep.
But I just I never heard of you guys before, so I'm just seeing as far as, are you getting promotion? Are you getting into? Are you doing the what I call the goat and pony routine, where you're where you're going to like clubs in Rochester, in Decorah, Mason City, Austin, even Mankato, to kind of talk about the benefits of your products?
No, we haven't. We just been very local. I feel very overwhelmed with some of the, getting a website or getting everything, all the technicalities put together. We pretty much just went around our local areas with products like cheeses and handed out free samples and kind of.
Oh,
You just muted yourself. You need to unmute.
There we go. So yeah, we've just kind of been around the local areas doing that kind of thing. We haven't branched out too much because I feel like we're not prepared. I know we need to do some work on our Facebooks or, a website or things where people can really start seeing and logging in and wanting to know about products and stuff like that. So that is the next thing on our list to do, is kind of be a little more established in that area so that I can still push us and people can find us and kind of get out there. So